One night, Lauren finds a strange man in her flat who claims to be her husband. All the evidence, from photos to electricity bills, suggests he's right. Lauren's attic, she slowly realizes, is creating an endless supply of husbands for her. There's the one who pretends to play music on her toes. There's the one who's too hot. There must be a catch. There's the one who makes a great breakfast sandwich. There's the one who turns everything into double entendres. I'll weed your garden. And the one who can calm her unruly thoughts with a single touch. But when you can change husbands as easily as changing a light bulb, how do you know whether the one you have now is the good enough one, or the wrong one, or the best one? And how long should you keep trying to find out? So just from this blurb, I thought it was going to be an interesting book, just because it's not something that...
Pause this video right now. Go and read The Husbands by
Holly Gramazio. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
But yes, no, I mean, it's obviously a interesting idea. It's just about the execution. And what did you think of the book? Would you recommend it?
No.
Did you like it?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Did you like
it? I liked some things about it, but not
Was it
enough.
worth reading?
Nah.
It wasn't worth reading.
I wouldn't recommend it.
What do you think about the author?
It's too soon to say. I've only read... I'm not impressed with her execution, honestly. I think she had a killer idea. And she botched the execution,
I don't know if
in my
she had
opinion.
a killer idea. She had a new idea.
It could have been a killer idea.
I mean, it wasn't even a new idea. It was almost like a copy of
Groundhog
Narnia.
Day. What
Narnia.
Narnia mixed with Groundhog Day, where she's doing the same thing over and over again. So kind of a combination of those two. I was getting like a Truman Show vibe. I don't know if you remember the Truman Show with Jim Carrey, where like his life is on a TV set and everyone else is an actor, but he thinks it's real. And like he's got to work. That's basically what it is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it missed the market. But it was refreshing to read something different. It was different, and I always like to give a point for something quite different.
That's fair.
So I'll mark it as 1 out of 5 stars.
That's the 1 point. Before that, it was
let me go.
0.
Okay, right off the bat, my issue with the story is the fact that there's no explanation for the supernatural attic.
Yeah.
It's frustrating at best, but it's just mainly confusing. Why wouldn't the author just give us a reason why this is happening? And why an attic? It just feels ridiculously random. The author could have been creative. Lauren, the main character, could have been cursed by her father or some shit. He could have said, "Oh, you want meaningless sex, do you? You whore!" The curse could mean that 24 hours later, she magically has a new husband. You know? And obviously she would love that at first until she realizes that meaningless sex isn't what she is after. It'd end up being that every day she would try to get some quote-unquote real intimacy before she loses that guy. This book could have been something special. It could have been a fable, a story with a moral. This book could have been the antidote to the real life degradation of society. You know, it could have been something special, but it wasn't. It was just like, we've got a magic attic.
Yeah, and that's it.
And
we don't.
But I also immediately disagree with myself. I don't think there needs to be a reason for the supernatural.
I knew you was going to... I'm actually surprised you said you was frustrated that there was no reason, because I expected you 100% to say it doesn't need to be a reason. That whole bullshit that you like to do, where you like give authors credit for failing.
Well, the reason why there doesn't need to be a reason for the supernatural is because if you look at life,
yeah, here we go.
There's no reason. There's no automatic reason apart from God. It's a supernatural.
Here we go.
So, you know, life is a miracle.
I know for a fact God did not tell her to have multiple husbands. I know that for a fact.
But, so is that...
If it was a man with multiple wives, maybe...
So is that what the author was trying to...
No!
So why didn't she give us a reason
Don't
then?
ask me that again. Nah. I think she was just trying to... It's up to you, guys.
Yeah.
It's up to you, sort of thing. Well, just like, you couldn't be bothered to write, could you?
It's like a short story blown up into a long story. Because you know short stories, you don't really explain.
That's a lot of these books. Remember the last bloody one with the plane? Well, I was like, this didn't need to be 15 hours, did it?
Yeah, 15 hours. That was
taking an absolute arse. That's a day.
They were trying to, you know what? They were trying to make their money. You know, if you pay a tenner for a book, you need to get enough.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not paying a tenner for a short story.
Doorstop. Do you see what I'm saying? Waffle, a lot of that. Why are female main characters always disgraceful human specimens? Okay, I may be jumping the gun a bit. It's a few pages in, and all we know is that Lauren A stumbled into our house drunk and doesn't remember who her husband is, and B, that she's a champion of being unapologetically unprincipled. I'll give you a few quotes from the book to illustrate my point. After stumbling in drunk, Lauren's husband asks her if she wants toast. She replies, "I had chips." Then she adds, "and chicken. I'm a vegetarian, but not when I'm drunk." The morning after, she eats a bacon sandwich that her husband made her and reasons to herself throwing it out now won't save any pigs. Which is, of course, a justification for being self-indulgent. Now, obviously, anybody who's ever tried going meat-free has let their diet slip once or twice. But as an author, when you put these things in here, you have to keep in mind people get their ideas about life from TV and storybooks. Often they build their personalities from things they've seen on TV or read in storybooks. And the big message of the 21st century is to be unprincipled. You and everybody you know has commitment issues. You. And everybody you know has commitment issues. You quit a job with a good wage because you didn't want to do it anymore. Or you cancel your gym membership because you don't feel like it anymore. How does anyone expect a lifetime marriage to be able to last if you can only commit to something while sober? So I was like, if you can only do what you need to do while sober, you shouldn't drink.
What I will say is, if you can only commit while you're sober, don't get caught. You think I was going to say don't drink?
I was like, surely not. But yeah, it was just, it's fine because, you know, characters are flawed. I don't expect characters to be perfect, but, you know, people read this stuff and it reads as normal. It reads as something that you should do. Yeah. Oh, of course, you know, you're drunk and you eat. I think
that was her aim, to try and make their character into a 3D character. And I thought this book was weird because the main character was barely a character, whereas some of the other characters
had more personality than
more personality. Were real.
The husbands. Yeah, all the husbands. The ones that lasted long enough to get off the ladder anyway. Yeah. She sent some of them back up to the firing squad straight away, you know.
She was like, nope. Yeah. I think this author is quite talented. She does a good job of bringing the characters to life. Lauren's best friend, is it Tara? Maybe.
At this point, I think that was it Elena?
I don't know. She's in the middle of planning her wedding. She's panicking about everything, and she says things like, "This is also stupid. I hate that I care about the color of the tissues on the tables. I hate that I care about it, but I do." And this is the type of thing that makes the character feel real. Again, we see the same with Lauren's Australian husband, Borhai. Borhai said he finally found the one because she, one, has terrible taste in music. 2, does fencing, and I quote, "When she takes off the mask, you shouldn't be allowed to do that in public." You know, her taking off the mask. That's what does it for him. That's his idea of porn. And 3, she always knows when I have a bad idea. You know, and I just found the conversation entertaining. You know, he's just so clueless. He's clueless, but that's a man who's gone through. Yeah, exactly. A man who's gone through about 1,000 wives. Yeah, he finally found the one, and tells me what to do, and that's his criteria.
Yeah, who tells me what to do? You know,
ridiculous. But I see on what I said. You're gonna say, well, I'm doing what I normally do, but I found the conversation entertaining, and in my opinion, the author continuously shows a fundamental understanding of creating side characters. It's a shame that it doesn't necessarily translate to the main character. So you kind of think that she wrote a man like a woman, and I've seen that as something genius, because it seems like she's purposely done that to make him this clueless idiot.
You know what? I'm prepared to hear it this time simply because she wrote so many different side characters. They're all different. Yeah. You know, so it's like you can't blunder your way into that. You must have some form of. She had a plan.
But Borhai was definitely the most complete character.
Yeah.
Like he's the most real, the most entertaining. He should have been the main character, if anything.
They should have switched.
Did you listen to it? Did you read it?
No, I read it. They should have switched. They should have switched povs halfway through the book and just had him become the main character. Send her up to the attic. This book officially has my attention. So our main character is Lauren. She wakes up hungover after a night out and is confused when she realizes that a strange man is living in her house. To compound the problem, the strange man is her husband, Michael. She goes through her photos, asks her neighbours, her friends, her family. Michael is definitely her husband. Her nieces and nephews love him. He's an architect. They have a cat together. So why, when Lauren returns from the shop with the light bulb that Michael, her husband, asked for, is there an entirely different man waiting for her? Absolute mindfuck, and the author will get top marks if she can execute this properly. We've had stories like these before, with a killer premise and then lackluster execution that leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Looking at you, funny story by Emily Henry.
I like that. I like that.
Jesus Christ.
So,
that was
it made me feel
killer premise, and she ruined it.
Can you imagine Lauren kills her husband because he chews too loudly and too messily? Of course. Because that's almost what this story was, basically a serial killer story without the gore. A playboy type woman who'd switch her husbands faster than she could change her pants. But in this scenario, when she switched them out, they would cease to exist. As far as she was concerned, they were going to die, and she was completely okay with that. I've got a question, Joseph. Isn't this book misogynistic? The idea that a woman couldn't possibly handle any sort of strange noise in the attic, that she needs a man to go and check. And all the men did go and check in a heartbeat, like lambs to the slaughter.
Absolutely.
Doesn't this make the author misogynistic?
I don't know if it makes the author misogynistic because she knew what she was doing. She was pretending that she didn't want to go check.
Yeah, I know, but it makes perfect sense to all of us that that's the way you trick a man into an attic. Because you couldn't get a woman in to go into an attic. How the hell would you get a woman to go into an attic? You couldn't.
Of course
but
not.
men,
well, we do live in a misogynistic society, though, who believe women can't do anything. That's the assumption. But we also live in a society where men want to be the ones to do that thing for their woman.
We're programmed to want to do that.
Yeah, we're programmed to want, and they're programmed to want us to want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's this girl at work that she said she believes that men and women should be equal. I said, cool. What if a guy with a gun pulls up on you and your boyfriend and he runs, like splits, leaves you or whatever, and then later you see him and he was like, babe, I thought you was running with me. Like, why didn't you? You're gonna see him differently, regardless. Even though you should be equal and you should be running together, you'll be like, why did you stay, babe? I thought you was running, you know? And her brain was obviously breaking as she was trying to answer the question, but no one really wants equality on all levels. Nobody actually wants it. It's a bad joke.
They definitely say they do anyway.
It's a very, very bad joke. You want to get paid more money for your work. That's what you really want. And so do I. So it's something I can understand.
And you want me to get paid more too, so I can take you on a date.
100%. Like, you want me to pay for your nails. How? Well, you took all my money. How? My intrigue has turned into debilitating confusion. Every time Lauren's husband ascends into the attic, there is a flash of light and a buzzing noise, and a different husband descends. Each time, details of her apartment change, the colour of the walls, the location of certain decorations. What the bloody hell is going on? Is Lauren senile? Is this some kind of teleport device hidden inside her attic? Is her husband some kind of shape-changing alien that can modify people's memories? What is happening? All we know for sure is that Lauren is going through more men than Bonnie Blue. She was collecting more rings than Sonic the Hedgehog.
She was shaboinking.
Oh my days, legit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she was collecting rings, Sonic.
No.
It was a disgrace with your whore.
She didn't even feel guilty.
She's
like,
feel guilty.
my husband.
She was just
it's my husband.
Listen, most women want the one, she wanted the next one.
She wanted this one and then the next one.
You know, what's his name? J.
Snatching
Cole.
souls.
Why would I choose between this one and that one? Well, I know that I can have both.
Oh, I'm dead. I love the part where Carter, the husband she finally likes, goes into the attic on her unaware request. It was creative, the reveal was good, and it was surprising. She asked him earlier in the day, do you have any idea where the wedding photos are by any chance? And he was like, and him being a dirty misogynist that he is, knew that his wife couldn't possibly handle going into the attic by herself, went up to the attic himself, and ends up disappearing. Serves his sexist, chauvinistic, anti-feministic ass.
Right. Legit.
So anyway, Lauren cries for the husband that she barely knew, which I would say was out of character for her, but at least it was realistic. You know, when a relationship has not been allowed to run its course because, I don't know, somebody's lost their life or they've moved country or something of that nature, those breakups hit hardest because they were the one, or at least they could have been. I actually thought this book would be boring, but it isn't. I love the transgression from what the story was, i.e. a woman playing with her attic to fit into this rich husband's life. It was almost like a Morty's Mind Blower episode. We had a million stories in one. We even had Lauren had sex with one of her friends in one reality. And then in the real reality, she couldn't look at him the same again. But yeah, as I said, all this, it shows an understanding of story writing. As I said, the way it transgressed into different stories, and it was all connected and whatnot. I would read something from this author again, just not this.
I
think she was it she.
I can agree with that.
Is it she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she showed certain skills that some of the other books we've read are definitely lacking. But I think she's a new author, actually.
Oh, I mean, I suppose that makes sense. But listen, I don't think her writing is bad. I think the story was bad, in my opinion. Lauren is no longer interested in how or why her attic is magic. All she knows is when husband gets annoying, send him up into the attic, get a new one. The allure of being able to switch your partner in for a new one every time they show an imperfection is, of course, impossible to resist for somebody that can only follow a diet when sober. Lauren, however, is becoming more and more crafty with it. At first, she would say, "Oh, I heard a noise in the attic. Can you check it out?" Then she hid a speaker in the attic, linked it to her phone, and began to play noises to lead her husband up there to his doom. The question is what Lauren doing is murder?
That's what it definitely did feel like.
It
was
definitely
dragging
felt
people
like
up
murder.
there.
Remember, she had the air rifle. Get up there, bro. Like, come on, what are we doing?
She was doing a madness.
What are we doing,
Forcing
man?
people up there. She even spilled some water up there. And one of the husbands said, "Are you trying to get me up there for some reason?" Because and he was like, "No, I don't want to go up there or whatever." You know, so that there were certain levels of creativity in the story. Like,
yeah, no,
I was
100%.
on the edge of my seat on one bit when she was trying to get Amos into the.
Oh yeah. Why did Amos come down? By the way, like the ex from 4 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
Why did he just randomly pull up?
Yeah,
That's just so many things left unexplained.
Plot twist, a husband in the same position as her, and the reveal was quite creative. The new husband comes down from the magical attic and then takes one good look at Lauren and says, "No thanks." Ouch. And he spins around to go. Well, no, he struggles to get the ladder down, which alerts Lauren to he can't live here if he doesn't know how to work the ladder, which I missed at the time, but that was clever. But what did you think about the unexplained addition of more people with more magical rooms in their houses? And what do you think about the addition of Borhai into the story? Because that came out of nowhere.
I think if we ain't got an explanation for the one we bloody got, we shouldn't be having any more, is what I was thinking.
But do you think Borhai was a good addition to the story then?
Yeah, ultimately, for character development reasons, because you can't keep going with the one-dimensional thing that we was doing with just husband. Yeah, exactly.
And her monologuing, she had someone to talk to, she had someone to connive with and canoodle.
I think ultimately that character should have been Carter, and they should have made him go up at the end of the book, and that should have been the end of the book. Like, Carter accidentally went up and Lauren loses.
Well, then that's a short story.
No, but, you know...
But the way it ended anyway, it was
I wasn't a fan
It was
of it.
probably one of the worst endings of any book I've ever read ever. She just set the attic on fire and said, "That's it now."
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm finished murdering, you know. I'm out of the game. You still got to go to prison for that, surely.
But ultimately, it was a missed opportunity but from the author. She should have made Borhai and Lauren want to stay together, but still leave. Because the way it played out, we didn't care if he stayed or left. This was because they were clearly not perfect for each other. They had no chemistry, and they didn't even have sex.
Couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. If I have a wife for one day, on that one day.
Just before you say something, I know you're gearing up to say something. I'm just gonna nip it in the bud now.
You're gonna yuck my yum.
That in that context, that definitely did not sound good. But yeah, I like the development of her finding out about the other husbands that are still alive, and her ended up stalking Carter, which shows how unhinged she really is. But yeah, the story transformed into something completely different again. It turned into let's stalk and find Carter, because him rejecting her was interesting. You know, she flew to America just to find him, stalk him, just to try and
get rejected, bro.
Yeah, to get rejected, and then follow him to a party, and he literally pulled her aside and said, "I don't know if this is a coincidence or whatnot, but." Listen, doesn't feel like it. Yeah. I think the story could have turned into her swapping out her current husbands just to try and win Carter back in different ways. That's what I thought.
I thought it was going to be with Michael, the first one. She was going to try and get him back.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what his problem was. Oh, no, she didn't send him back up to that. He just went up there to change the light bulb. Yeah. So he actually got the bad...
Killed himself.
Yeah, he literally killed himself. He blew aside.
But that's me done.
Slowly going to sleep. My earlier concerns about execution seem to be warranted. Since Lauren was frantically exchanging husbands a few chapters ago, not much has happened. Best friend Elena's wedding to new husband Rob has come and gone, and we had to sit through some scenes of Lauren and Carter, new husband, picking up chickens. I can only assume we are meant to be feeling the love and allowing the relationship between Carter and Lauren to be developing more layers. But we know she is going to send him into the attic the instant he leaves the toilet seat up or comes home late from the pub.
Or comes too early, I suppose. Or
anything, really, at this point. Could be chewing too loud, could sit on the remote. She was just
sneeze.
let's go upstairs.
Yeah.
She's I'll go upstairs. Set the next one down. I take back everything I said. Just as Lauren is safe and happy and finally feeling as though she might be able to stick with her husband this time around, Carter heads upstairs into the attic, looking for their wedding photos. Flash and buzz, and Carter is gone, and Lauren is left with a hole in her heart. Yeah. So they set us up to think that Lauren was going to get a happily ever after, and then pulled the rug out from under us. It's nice to see. It's nice to finally see an author scoring a tap in for once, as opposed to missing them.
Yeah. But I wouldn't even say that's a tap in.
I know, but I think this one was done too soon. It would have been absolutely wild if the book ended there. You know, she runs into the attic and she sees his foot going up the ladder. She's like, oh,
but people don't like endings like that.
Well,
they feel like they're unfinished,
unfulfilled. But that's that quality of feeling unfulfilled is what is, you know, has you think about it for days after. Yeah. So remember Behind Her Eyes when Rob just wins at the end. You're just like, but you can't end like that. Yeah. And he just wins.
Yeah.
You know, I remember We Play Games when Ben got away with it and he didn't. And I was just like, but if he got away with it, that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
We don't get to find out where the magic was. I know you're probably going to say some BS like it's not about the magic, Elijah, but I don't care. Lauren finally sees the error of her ways and the path to her happiness and decides to burn her house down. What if she started a fire and burned down the whole street? What then? What if her latest husband, Sam, disappeared once the attic was destroyed? What if all the husbands disappeared once the attic was destroyed?
The whole thing didn't really make any sense.
It didn't make any sense.
The world around her changed. Everybody changed. She was the only one that didn't change, and
it was
it's just weird.
I think it would have made sense if she was seen out. She's in a mental hospital, and she was imagining.
No, but you couldn't have that ending. People would be
people would burn the book. Sniper would come for her.
Oh gosh, but yeah, I haven't found any books for us next week at all whatsoever. I mean,
oh, you've been busy, innit?
Well, do you know what? I actually found 2 books and both of them weren't out yet last week. So that's why I've got these books. So they should be out by now.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I'm not going to tell you what they are because I don't remember.
Do you have a quote today?
No, I don't have a quote today.
I do. Quote of the day. No matter what you do, always give 100%, unless you are donating blood.
Okay, that's
nice one to end on.
Yeah, it's a nice one to end on. Guess till next time.
Till next time.